knew the 8.1 liter was going away. It was a big part of what we packaged, and we started looking at the alternatives that we were going to have to undertake to replace that engine.
Left a huge gap in our market for an engine that covers that power range. So we feel this is a tremendous opportunity to continue capturing that marketplace that really requires that kind of horsepower for a variety of applications.
Basically, we've got to replace a big block GM engine that's no longer produced with an engine like sized, same horsepower, same torque, same characteristics, because we have so much of this equipment out in the field.
The way that Origin Engines really got our start was when we learned that General Motors was no longer going to be producing the 8.1 liter, the 496 engine for the industrial markets. We were contacted by some individuals who were concerned about losing this engine, which represented a large portion of their market share in that higher horsepower, large spark ignited engine market. They asked us if there was anything that we could do.
With Origin, we will develop and have developed a product that will remain very consistent. We're actually developing engines for the industrial and the generator market. And once that development is done, we don't plan on changing the engines a lot, except for if the customers ask us to. Whereas the engines they were getting before basically were scheduled to go into a truck. They were off the production line. And every year those customers and users of those in the industrial market would get a different version. They got what GM made. We're making what they want.
We build engines, and by focusing on engines, we're going to be able to bring something to the industrial market that others haven't done in the past. Engines are typically an afterthought, and the industrial market is forced to use engines which were designed for a vehicle or a tractor, and this will be the first time that an engine will be developed and designed with 100% focus on the industrial market. The first thing we did was we went out and we talked to engine distributors, and we talked to lots of them. There was really three resounding points that continued to come up over and over again. And they were: build us a quality engine that supports the rigors of our industry, make sure you do it at an affordable price, and treat us like a customer.
We came to some different individuals that were experts in the field, basically with a blank sheet of paper, and said, you know, if we were going to design an engine, if you had the opportunity from the ground zero to develop an engine that you can produce and package and sell out into the market, what does that look like? Together we networked, we talked with different OEMs, different packagers, and collectively we started to build this engine from a ground up.
They've taken the feedback that has been given to them and actually put it into production. And that's important. That's something that we generally don't see with an engine supplier.
Instead of coming to us and telling us that this is what we have to offer, we hope you like it, they came to us with an open mind. Origin basically came to us and said, tell us how to build this thing.
We've had farmers and oil field technicians crawling all over the engine saying, hey, if you guys address this with the oil pan, if you move this oil fill tube to this location, that suits our applications best. So we truly went out, and the development of this engine was true feedback, not only from our first step customers, but from our customers' customers.
They have spent a lot of time together discussing quality, discussing the needs of the customer, and that's extremely important, and I think that's one of the tremendous benefits of having the relationship that we've developed with Origin Engines. I think the product is going to be supreme.
An engine is just like what's in your car. If the engine's not there, you're not rolling down the highway. So it's one of the core components of any key package that we build. And it doesn't matter if it's a gas compressor, if it's a pump jack, if it's a genset, a forklift. If you don't have that driver actually turning things over, you might as well just have an extra large paperweight.
Origin Engines is bringing to market a 100% new engine, 100% newly designed components, some that we've designed ourselves and developed tooling for, others that we've partnered with manufacturers, with well-known manufacturers, to develop the best quality parts for this type of application.
In our 30 years experience building engines, we've been able to look at why engines failed in the first place. So we've been able to take a look at engines from the inside out, identify inherent weak points with some of these engines, like the big block Chevrolet, find out where those weak points are, target in on that, and find out how can we improve that. We're not reinventing the wheel, but we're making it a little bit better.
From the ground up, Origin came in and said, you tell us what you want, we'll apply our high performance expertise to it, and our background with the manufacturer. We'll help you build this, just point us in the right direction. And Origin Engines stepped up the plate and said, we're going to do it.
We've designed our own piston oiling system. There's issues with the camshafts wearing out prematurely, and we've done a lot of development and testing. Right now we're looking at different shapes of the lobe that would allow the camshaft to wear longer. So we're trying to address the problems that have existed for a long time when we developed this to make it as bulletproof of an Origin engine as we can.
The biggest things that face these LSI engines, we're running on dry fuels. There's a lot of heat associated with it with the dry fuel, so a big concern was put into the cylinder heads of these engines, the valve seats, the valve train assembly, just making sure that these things run at 24 hours a day unattended.
These engines are coming straight from the factory with the hardened seats on the intake side and the exhaust side. Something that was never done before till the first valve change. Basically, these engines, you know, from whether it's the cam profile that's in them, whether it's the type of bearings, the aluminum bearings for a H2S type gas, from the ground up, we've designed these things to be industrial engines.
I think the Origin brand will appeal to the international market due to the fact that they have a unique product that some of the features have only been seen in the past on a diesel engine line. Piston oilers and some of these types of things that those markets have only seen on diesel engines are now available in a gaseous fueled engine. The Origin 10.3 liter, we're hoping to attain 200 horsepower, which would be in the 150 kW rating. And that's a whole new area for us, for our company and our customers. In the past, there really wasn't a V8, a big block V8 that would get into that horsepower range. So we're really excited about the opportunities for the 10.3, both domestically and internationally.
There's a gap in the genset market in that horsepower range. Everybody's trying to get that 150 kW. And previously, to go not necessarily a low cost, but a more economical way of doing it was to put a turbo on a standard GM style engine, or you went to a big diesel derivative, which was in a lot of cases was cost prohibitive.
So we put the pencil to paper and we started developing and seeing how large that we could go and still keeping durability and reliability and still in check. And that's where our 10.3 liter really started to get a foothold, is developing a 200 horsepower natural gas engine to compete with the diesel engines that cost twice as much.
So the next logical step for us was we did want to spend or increase the cost of the skid, whether it was width, height, cooling sizes, and different things like that. And if we went to a diesel derivative style engine, that was going to be a complete overhaul and redesign of a skid package, coolers, scrubbers, catalyst, I mean, the whole 9 yards. That was one of the key components that we knew that we had to have when we replaced this engine, was something that was going to drop in with minimal requirement, minimal changes to the skid package in order for it to be back up and running.
We're very excited about the 10.3, primarily because that is a spark-ignited engine that hasn't existed in the industrial marketplace previously. And now with Tier 4 regulations, the diesel derivatives or competitors of where that 10.3 is going to compete are going to be much higher priced, and this is going to fill that void so people are still able to get the power they need, but at the affordability factor.
It takes us from the 150 horsepower market all the way up to the 200 horsepower market, and we do it at a very low and very competitive cost to do it. But it also allows us to use our current platform, which is a 8-cylinder reciprocating compressor. It allows us to use the full capacity of that compressor. We're not running out of horsepower now.
The certified fuel system that they have chosen and the amount of development work that they're doing on it is evident and will definitely be a key feature in offering certified packages.
We're just now getting into interim Tier 4 and final Tier 4 configurations for these stationary diesel industrial engines that we're competing with this 8-liter and 10.3-liter. And quite frankly, the spark-ignited engines can meet those emission standards more cost-effectively than the diesel can.
These oftentimes require a diesel particulate filter and a diesel oxidation catalyst to meet those requirements. They're very costly pieces of hardware.
So it's really added a lot of cost to a diesel. Whereas with a spark-ignited engine, we can get it to burn clean. So we're happy to be able to be in that 200 horsepower range and probably at half the price of a comparable diesel engine.
On a gaseous fueled engine such as the Origin product, a simple automotive style catalyst will allow the engine to meet those emission standards. Therefore, the cost of the gaseous fueled engines as compared to an IT4 or final Tier 4 diesel is drastically less, and the engines that Origin is producing have very, very durable characteristics, oftentimes only found in a diesel engine. So you're really getting, in my opinion, as close to a diesel engine as you can in a gaseous fueled product and not having to pay a premium price for it.
They're a new name in the industrial engine market, but they've been in the engine business for a long, long time.
Origin has a lot of high performance backing to them. And even the companies that are out there now playing in this new 8.0 liter market, they're new companies to the industry.
We've been here for almost 30 years. We've built and shipped and sold almost 300,000 engines. We've got a real strong engineering staff. We understand engines. We understand the manufacturing of engines. I think that's real key.
People had built engines for cars, and those engines ended up in the industrial market. People had built engines for tractors, and those engines had ended up in the industrial market. We wanted to build engines for the industrial market. So industrial engines specifically for the industrial market. And that's something that hadn't been done before.
We're building something from the ground up specifically for an application, specifically for a fuel, specifically for these OEMs and packagers. We're not producing cars, we're not producing trucks, we're engine builders.
Hey, we're not new at this. This isn't just a new idea and some people that have never done it before. We've been doing it.
In Origin's case, I would say the business is built on trust and friendship. That's not bad. That's something in business these days in a lot of cases seems to be disappearing. I think they trust us and we certainly trust them. They've got a lot at stake and we just hope that we can represent them in a good fashion.
When you deal with the Origin guys and you say, hey, I really need this in order to do this market, they'll do it. They'll work with you, they'll engineer it, they'll test it, you know, they'll work with you.
When customers ask us about Origin engines and why Origin engines, my first answer is that it's a relationship built on trust. Our customers trust us to give them a quality product and to stand behind it. We trust Origin to do the same, and it truly is that basic, but it's something in today's business world that is fairly uncommon, and it's something that we've found in Origin and that we hope to carry forward to our customers as well.
We're not going out and trying to sell this engine to everybody. We're working with guys that have built their livelihood on this, have a reputation staked in this market, that have been doing it forever. They know engines. They know industrial applications, they know dry fuels, and we know how to build engines together. We've got an engine that we feel is going to be pretty predominant in the marketplace.
We're confident that the product that we've got, that Origin is building for us, is going to fit our needs, and we put them through some of the worst conditions anybody out there does. We'll stack them up against anybody and tell them it's going to make it.